Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Daybreak. I'm Anthony Durzo.
And I'm Cade Montgomery. In this week's episode, hear all the newest ways that pop star Taylor Swift has broken boundaries with reporter Addison Deal, and see how Joe Biden utilized his first presidential veto with PolitiSmack reporter Nick Konopka.
And of course, Cade and I are here to keep you updated on all the latest in your city and campus news, and make sure you stick around to the end to see this week's ray of sunshine.
Stay tuned. We have all this and more coming up. Wake up and smell the coffee, Pittsburgh. Daybreak starts right now.
Welcome back, everyone. Before we start sharing your campus news, here's your weekly weather update with Nick Konopka.
Thanks, Cade and Anthony. Monday was the first day of spring, and we are certainly feeling it here in Pittsburgh. In case you couldn't tell, the sun has begun to peek its head out from our usual gray skies, and things have been heating up a bit in the Steel City. In the coming week, expect temperatures that range from the high 40s all the way to the occasional low 60s. This weather will occasionally be interrupted by rain showers, but it seems that our snowfall has ceased for the season. If things keep heading in the right direction, it'll be summertime before we know it. That's all for our weather this week. Now back to our hosts.
All right, thanks, Nick.
Now it's time to hear about all the latest developments here on campus. Point Park will be hosting a blood drive at the end of this month. The blood drive will take place on Friday, March 31st, and will start at 12 p.m. and end at 5 p.m., and will take place on the 7th floor of the Student Center in room 701. There is also the potential to receive a gift card. A poster for the blood drive revealed that the first 10 people to attend will receive a $15 gift card. The poster also reads, quote, "Starve a mosquito, donate blood," end quote. The poster was sent out via campus announcements email, and you can check out that email for more information.
We are now close to the conclusion of March, which means April 1st, also known as April Fool's Day, is only a little over a week away. And if you are someone who enjoys pulling pranks on your friends, the Campus Activity Board has an event just for you. They're hosting an event that they call Foolin' Around. They say it is a crazy time full of pranks, jokes, and simply fooling around. They also say attendees will have the opportunity to win prizes, and there will be games. The event will take place right before April Fool's Day on Thursday, March 31st in the student gym from 3 to 5 p.m.
The Sports, Arts, and Entertainment Management program here at Point Park is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, and Point Park is planning a big event for this milestone. The celebration will take place all day on April 12th and will take place all across campus and at Stage AE as well. The events are said to include alumni panels, speed networking, the Pioneer Records release party, a VIP alumni reception, and more. If you're interested in receiving updates about the Sports, Arts, and Entertainment Management 20th Anniversary celebration, you can email saem@pointpark.edu to get updates. All right, now Anthony, are you planning on going to the Foolin' Around event?
Yeah, of course. I enjoy pulling pranks on my friends. I think my favorite, boo!
Are you kidding me? Okay.
April Fools. I mean, I know it's not April Fools yet,
It's March.
but, well, it's close, and my story had to do with April Fools.
Close enough.
So I got you.
I guess you're just getting a jump on it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, I'll see you there.
Okay, just read your line.
After the break, we'll tell you all about how Port Authority is shaking up the city's transportation.
Plus, you'll learn what lucky circumstance happened to a local Monroeville resident.
All of this and more coming up. Daybreak will be right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
Welcome back to Daybreak. We're happy you stuck around.
Now let's get started with your city news.
Pittsburgh Regional Transit announced last week that they will be upgrading bus stop signs throughout our area, including downtown Pittsburgh and the Martin Luther King Jr. East Busway. In a press release, PRT stated that the new signs will have an increase in reflectivity at night for drivers and riders to find stops easier. Also, included on the pole of the new signs will be a QR code for riders' benefit. After the rider scans the code with their mobile device, they will be able to access real-time vehicle information regarding the bus they are waiting for. PRT says the in-house cost of the production and installation rounds to $30,000. Crews are expected to begin installing 7,000 new signs at the end of this month.
A scratch-off ticket worth $3 million was recently sold at a local gas station. The ticket was sold in the Monroeville Sheets on Mosside Boulevard. Not only will the lucky owner of this ticket win $3 million, but the store will also receive a $10,000 bonus for selling the winning ticket. According to the Pennsylvania Lottery's website, scratch-off prizes expire 1 year from the game's end sale date. Any winner should sign the back of the ticket and call the Pennsylvania Lottery as soon as they can. Congratulations to both the store on their bonus as well as the big winner.
Pittsburgh Parking Authority's Wood Allies parking garage is now undergoing major repairs. Construction began this past Monday, causing the 9th and 10th floors to be closed to drivers. PPA advised garage patrons about the closure last week with construction notice flyers displayed throughout all 10 levels. PPA says the garage, which opened in 1984, will receive steel beam replacements and overhead repairs on the upper 2 levels. They expect approximately 120 spaces to be lost due to the construction. They say leaseholders will be guaranteed a spot, however, there will be some days where normal daily patrons will not be granted access to the garage. Other parking garages in that same portion of downtown Pittsburgh include the Mon Wharf Lot, 3rd Avenue Garage, 1st Avenue Garage. While there is no official date as to when the construction will conclude, PPA is hopeful that it will conclude in May of this year. And I'm hopeful of that too, because I use the garage frequently when I don't park on the street.
Yeah, I personally don't use that garage because I don't have a car to put in the garage, but
Well,
I know it's
like,
really convenient for a lot of
I
people.
usually don't go up to the 9th and 10th floors. Usually
Yeah.
I can stay on like the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, maybe sometimes, especially because I don't come normal rush hours. Usually like after rush hour, I can usually get a spot. But so it won't really affect me, but
Yeah,
just in
but,
case, I'm kind of
you know,
nervous.
yeah, you never know, because I know there's definitely a ton of Point Park students that use that garage
Yeah.
since it's right there, so that might be a problem to a lot of
Right.
commuter students.
Yeah, and I don't want to use them on Wharf in case it floods.
Yeah, that could be
Because
bad.
there's a lot of times that happens. And
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Before we share this week's Ray of Sunshine reporters, Addison Deal and Nick Konopka are here to share some exciting reports.
First up is Addison Deal, here to talk about pop icon Taylor Swift. Addison?
Karma is certainly a relaxing thought to Miss Taylor Swift after the record-breaking kickoff to her 2023 tour. The tour, named the Eras Tour, had its premiere show this past Friday night in Glendale, Arizona, which was renamed Swift City to commemorate the event. Nearly 70,000 Swifties were in attendance, breaking the record for the most attended concert by a female in history. A pretty nice prize for the artist's first live performance in 5 years. The night lasted longer than 3 hours, featuring 44 songs performed by Swift. Among the 44 songs Swift performed, Cruel Summer, which was the artist had never performed live before. Videos and pictures of the performance swarmed social media almost immediately after the concert, with fans praising the artist for an amazing show. Previous to the concert, controversies about the ticket selling process resulted in many unhappy Swifties, and negative press about the artist's private jet use made attendance at any upcoming performance a liability. With the epic kickoff to the completely sold-out 52-day tour, it's clear that there have been no ramifications to Miss Swift's reputation. Pittsburgh Swifties are certainly looking forward to their shows on June 16th and 17th in Acrisure Stadium to see what the artist has in store. Now let's turn things over to reporter Nick Konopka for this week's PolitiSmack.
Welcome back to PolitiSmack. I'm Nick Konopka. Yesterday morning, President Biden issued his first ever veto. The rejected bill would have overturned a Department of Labor ruling that allows investors to consider the environmental and social impacts when investing in retirement funds. The ruling was criticized by Republicans and moderate Democrats for putting retirement funds at risk in the name of social issues or woke politics, as said by Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy. The veto comes after the president's been working to moderate his image before a looming re-election campaign. Sometimes those decisions have been on his terms, such as with his policy to deny asylum to migrants who cross the border illegally. Other times the decisions have been on Republicans' terms, like when the president declined to veto a bill that would overturn a D.C. city ordinance that would lower the penalties for certain crimes, such as carjacking. However, the president's decision to approve oil drilling in Alaska's North Slope region was made on his own, and it's drawing criticisms from members of his party, as well as a lawsuit from a number of environmental groups. The decision made last Monday approved the construction of 3 new oil drilling pads, a reduction from the 5 that were initially approved in 2020. According to the ConocoPhillips, the project's developer, the wells are expected to produce 180,000 barrels of oil per day at peak operations, as well as billions in revenue for federal, state, and local governments. According to the Department of the Interior, the well will not be active until 2031, and it is expected to have the lifespan of 30 years. Many have called the president's move hypocritical, after he said, quote, "no more drilling on federal lands, period," during the 2020 Democratic presidential primaries. But the administration argues that its hands were tied with the leases already on the books. And just to add another layer to the president's move, yesterday his annual economic report warned of the dangers of climate change and what they pose to the economy, and he called for a speedy transition away from fossil fuels. So the president's plan on climate policy seems to be to give both sides what they want. The only problem with that is that he may end up making no one happy at all, leaving him in no man's land. That's all for PolitiSmack this week. I'm Nick Konopka. Now let's send it back to our hosts.
Thanks so much, you two. In case this is your first time joining us, or you just need a refresher, Ray of Sunshine is our way of starting your day with a smile and an inspirational quote.
Spring has finally sprung, a time of rebirth and renewal. It's truly the season of new beginnings. That's why this week's quote is all about restarting and making things anew.
Our quote for this week comes from Dr. Bernie Siegel and reads, quote, "If you watch how nature deals with adversity, continually renewing itself, you can't help but learn," end quote.
Not me, who had to Google what adversity meant when I read the script before.
It can be a pretty confusing word, but,
Yeah.
you know, spring is all about renewal and change, and I think a lot of that's coming up for us. We're getting ready to do our new schedules for the fall semester, and tons of changes coming, and we're going to have to start adapting.
I feel like there's a lot of change throughout the experience of college, because it's like
Oh, yeah.
every, 15 weeks you're changing classes and then moving to different houses.
Especially with everyone going away for the summer, we're going to have to deal with the change of not having Daybreak and
I know,
not seeing the
not
same
having
people
any-
every day.
Right, yeah. But I feel like after a while, you just got to learn how to get used to it. That's
Yeah,
life. Everything
definitely.
comes and changes, stuff like that.
Everything.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it for this episode of Daybreak. Thank you all so much for watching.
You can catch clips from all of our previous episodes on our YouTube at UView Television.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Daybreak PPU. Until next time, I'm Anthony Durzo.
And I'm Cade Montgomery, hoping your news is great news. Have a great week, everyone.